Hi there everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook layout video and thank you for joining me again today. So today I am following that sketch that you just saw. I do apologize because that was a sketch for the My Little Scrapbook Store August crop, and those challenges are all closed out. You can still do the challenges, you just can't be entered in to win any prizes. But this sketch is actually a lot of fun, and I'm going to show you, this was a travel themed type of crop, but I'm actually, you can see I'm using this family fun collection here, and this worked perfectly because it was just my son's birthday, and so he likes to choose. Finally, things had opened up in my area. It was the first time we've been able to go to Big Al's for anybody's birthday, and that's where they usually choose to go because they usually have um, fried pickles. There is the main reason we go. Unfortunately, they must have gotten rid of their fried pickles along the way, so there was a little bit of disappointment there, but we still bowled and had some fun. I don't know if we will go back for the next birthday if they can't have their fried pickles, but that's a whole nother story, so we will see. I did change the sizes and different things on this layout. So I think it called for a 4x6 photo on one side, and I think my photo, it might still be a 4x6. The other two photos I couldn't exactly cut down to be exactly what they called for in the sketch, but you guys know me, I don't really follow sketches completely the way that they call for them to go. I just kind of make it work for me, and I highly encourage you to take a sketch and make it work for you as well. Now, I did take that red paper, and that red paper has puzzle pieces on it, which are kind of subtle. It's a tone on tone, so in my opinion, it will work just fine, and it does work just fine. I cut those to be a matte behind the photos. And what I'm trying to decide here is one thing that's different about this sketch is it has different pattern paper on the left side than it does the right hand side. It's a double page sketch. And I really wanted to follow that because that's not something I always think to do. I'm just trying to figure out what papers that I want to use at this point. And to be honest, this is the first layout I did with this collection. I started cutting these papers, and then I think I cut one of them wrong. And so I'm going to kind of flip-flop back a little bit, back and forth. I actually started to get a little frustrated when I thought I had cut the pattern papers wrong, but one that I cut that I thought that I had cut wrong, I actually was able to still use. The other thing that kind of makes me cut things down a little bit different is this row of photos. So I think it called for a row, maybe like 5 2x2 photos. Either way, the row of photos that it had that were smaller, which you can use, people who entered into the challenge used, pattern papers or bigger photos, or you can do whatever you want with that space. Like you can see here, I'm only using 4 photos, but what I did like about it is that it was longer than the rest of all the elements on the page. And so that means I'm going to end up having to cut those 2 pattern papers that you see, the stars and the stripes, down even more because I know that I didn't need it to be longer, but I wanted it to be. So I hope that, kind of makes sense a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead. I do ink all the edges. I think here's where I realize, okay, I'm going to have to make these smaller to make that work. Cutting these to be the same, I did want them to be the same width, so I decided to just cut them both. I don't believe you see where they line up on the paper, so it's not that big of a deal, but I figured why not just cut both at once and save some time. I am using my black Close to My Heart ink to ink the edges, and it was kind of hard to decide which pattern papers I wanted to use. There's so many fun papers in this collection, but there's a lot of different ones that are very themed, like the red. I really wanted to use the red because my son is wearing a red shirt, but the other ones are very, like there's some geared towards games quite a bit, or there's some geared towards, I'm trying to look here. I don't know. Anyways, like towards bowling and, you know, different reasons for the different pattern papers. But these ones, luckily, on the opposite sides, it's fairly, you know, like the stripes, or see like the bingo there. I mean, that's pretty themed, although you could really use that on anything. But what I'm trying to say is I just wanted to find something that would work, and I didn't want to use up too much. I know that's dumb, and I try not to do that very much, but I didn't want to use up too much of one thing. The other one that I had thought about using was the blue. There's a pattern paper on one side is like game circles with the spinner, and on the other side is a blue. But there's so much blue in these photos that is why I didn't choose that color of background. So I had these 2 extra photos, which I don't know why. I think the sketch did call for a couple smaller photos next to the larger photo. The other thing I'm also doing is I'm flipping the sketch. So what was normally on the left-hand side, I put on the right-hand side, and vice versa. These couple photos, there was a couple photos by this larger photos, smaller photos by this larger photo. So I decided to go ahead and try that, which is why I didn't add them on. You know, I had it pictured in my mind, and I'm actually going to play around with this a lot. Um, I do struggle for quite a while, which, you know, you guys don't always see what I struggle with on the video. Sometimes I do turn the camera off if I am struggling too much, but for the kind of to fill in the little gap, I did take this little cut apart piece. And again, I wanted to go with the word strike, but it was blue, and all these pictures are so blue. And so I decided to try the word yay. Small disclosure, that yay does not stay on there, but you will kind of see where, when I go to play with my title, that's where I'm going to struggle. First of all, I felt like that yay really, I'll talk about that in just a minute. I forgot that I did this. So on the sketch, if you look really closely on the sketch, there is a tiny little dotted line all around the main, like, portion of the layout. So I actually went through my stamps and decided I'm going to use some stamps for once. And so I had just this dotted line stamp, and I went along, and let me tell you, it was not perfect at all. I, you know, messed up here and there, but it's okay. It looks really cool. And I'm actually going to add some more stamping on the layout in a little while. So yeah, that's different for me. It kind of was encouraging to use that stamp a little bit. So, and this was before I had gone through my stamps, by the way. I'm just getting this video up afterwards. So here's where I'm struggling. I liked the fact that it had the journaling spot next to those photos. But when I was saying about that word yay, is I think it takes away too much from the big photo. And this was his birthday, so I wanted to keep that there, right? So I'm playing around with these bowling pins. I've got more bowling photos, so I'm not worried about using these bowling pins or anything like that. I just was playing around quite a bit. I didn't know if I wanted to, and I could actually have left that Let's Bowl on the left-hand side. I could have used that as my title, but I don't know. I'm playing around. This is where I decide, okay, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. And luckily I could pull up that yay just enough, and I could, you know, get the same with the border around these 2 photos. So that worked out for me. And now that's where that goes. And I don't add anything else to that. I like just the smaller 2 photos. These are not important photos to me, but, you know, maybe they will be to my son because, you know, I took a picture of everybody, and I had my husband take my picture too as well. So, you know, they might want pictures of us there. Then I came across and remember, oh yeah, I've got the foam thickers that goes with this collection. But all of the ones, so you can see I really wanted to use that journaling block, but all of the foam thickers that I wanted to use had that same kind of like you see on the title that I did end up going with, the Good Times. They all had that kind of like light bulb type look. And so I decided, I forgot that I also had the journaling bits and pieces package. So I went with that one, circle one with the stars. And gonna be honest with you, I think that one, I'm not super crazy with that one. I love how the layout turns out though, so I'm not gonna focus too much on that. But I think what I don't like is there's so much white. It's very white type of layout. And the middle of that journaling piece is very creamy. And so I think that that kind of throws me off a little bit, but it is what it is, right? So, I am just playing around. I noticed that the foam thickers had this really big strike word, which I didn't notice at first. And as much as I wanted to use it, it just wasn't going to fit anywhere without really drawing a lot of attention to it. I really like these balls where there looks like it's knocking over the pins, but anywhere that I try to put it seems like it's kind of covering up something else, and it was kind of driving me a little crazy, and nowhere was looking good. I had the chipboard piece and now this sticker, so I'm kind of just working very much back and forth. I did go ahead and glue down the pins on the right hand side with that "this is how we roll." I kind of liked that saying. I do have the little puffy stickers, so I noticed that they had pins. One thing I did is I actually went through the ephemera pieces and I separated everything out. So the bowling pieces are all together, the mini golf pieces are all together, the except for like the sticker sheet, I didn't do it with that. But the movie stuff is all together, which that really makes it a lot easier. So if you have this collection, you might try to separate them out. Again, I didn't do it with the brads. I think at this point I didn't. I might have gone back. Yep, I did go back and cut. Sorry if you can hear my kids, by the way. I did go back and cut apart the brads and kind of put the ones that are definitely themed like the movies. If you do pictures where you could do layouts where you include everything, pictures from everything, or just talk about your family, you don't have to separate them. The one thing I did get was this sticker book. I got this separate from the Happy Scrappy bag, and I'm going to have to say I am rather disappointed in this sticker book. You know, I know Echo Park and American Crafts, they do a lot of these sticker books, and I've always been really, you know, they're good quality stickers, but these ones are cheap. These are very, in fact, you can see I kind of set it down there a little bit when I went to pull it up. I mean, it tore a little bit. They are so thin. I like some of it. I like some of the sayings. They are so thin that they're a little bit see-through. I have to say, I don't think I'll ever purchase one of these sticker books from Simple Stories. Um, which is too bad because I really like all the stickers in there. But so if they up their quality of them a little bit, I might be willing to purchase one. I don't buy Simple Stories very much because of the whole cream white thing. A lot of you probably know, but this was a collection I could not pass on. But yeah, I was really disappointed in this sticker book. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead and use it since I bought it anyway. But I'm adding some stars to each kind of cluster area, just to kind of make it so there's, you know, one in each cluster. I did finally that one sticker where it looks like it's hitting the pins, the ball's hitting the pins. I added that on there. It does kind of cover up one of the letters a little bit next to the Let's Bowl, but I'm okay with that. Because I mean, obviously, I mean, you can pretty much, your mind will read what it says. The other thing I was disappointed in, I mean, look at all these great word stickers that are in here, and which is part of the reason I bought this collection, or I mean, this sticker book. But yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I'm sorry about that, guys. But, you know, I'd rather let you guys know that, hey, this is kind of crappy quality than to encourage you to go buy it and have you think, you know. I am going to I didn't know that this book had a couple alphabet sets, so I did go ahead and add the date with the small square alphabets. I struggled with it a little bit, so I had to pull it up. You know, you got to be really careful because, again, they rip really easily. But then I'm going to add a brad around into each cluster, and then I think um, I want to say I added something more to around the journaling area, but maybe I just added that one red circles. There's not a whole lot more that I do to this layout other than I do add some stamping. I mentioned that. I take a star stamp that I just really like the shape of, and I am going to go around and double stamp. So I stamp once, so it's like the full darkness, and then I stamp again, and in each cluster area, and it's not, you know, it's like the second generation stamping. The other thing I think, I can't remember if I do it or not, but I had originally put that arrow down. I don't like that arrow. I don't know why I had it there, but I do believe that I finally pull that up. I don't know if I pull it up before I do the still shot photos or not, but yeah, I like the sticker and the arrow. I just don't like it pointing right at my son. I don't know. It just looks a little weird. So here's the stamp. And a couple of them don't even turn out that great, but I don't really care. So I'm doing it once and doing it twice and in each area. Oh, and then I also added a third little area. So it just seemed like it needed a little something more there. And I do think I add maybe some more stars or something like that in that area. So I'm stamping once and twice in each little area. And that's just another. Again, like I said, I'm not going for perfect stamping. I kind of like the little bit of not perfect look to it. So that's just another way to add a little bit of interest to your clusters if you like as well. Yeah, I do add something there to the bottom left of that strip of photos by those stamped stars, just to kind of make it look like it kind of is continuous with that cluster. Oh, it splatters. That's what I added. I'm sorry, it's been a while since I did this layout. But anyways, yeah, I just used some very teeny tiny small splatters and that really finished off the layout for me. So I hope you guys like this layout and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Have a great day.